module. So we need to export the class app routing module. And you have to manually configure everything. So we have to import. So from Angular core at the net Angular/core. From Angular core, we need to import here. From Angular core, we need to import ng module. And we need one more configuration here. So another is we need to import. So from Angular/router, we need to import two. So one is routes. Another one is router module, routes and router module. We need to import routes and router module. And we need to configure the metadata for that. First, we need here option is a constant. We need a constant. So by name routes, and it is of type routes. So it is of type routes. And it is a collection of routes. We have to configure the routes. How to configure the routes, we will see that. How to write the routes. And here we need to export this. That means ng module. ng module uses. So imports. It should import the router module. It's a collection. So router module and for route. So it has to load the routes. So that means it should load the routes that you have defined into the route, application route, right? And it should exports router module. Then we can use this module. So we have to configure and define the router. This is how we write the router module. So now this router module need to be registered. So module need to be registered. Go to app modules. In the app modules, so here at imports, we have to import the router module. Router module need to be used here. And of course, so router module you are importing here. That means you have to use at the top. That means here also you have to import the router module. So the router module is configured here. Router module. Okay. And once you import that router module, at the top, you can see that router module is added here. So where here it is added, router module added from Angular router. So we need to import and register that module also. Every module that you add, you need to register that. So this is the first step we have to do. So what we have done is, in our example, first add few components, add following components. We added the following components. So like ng generate component, one is shopping home, right? Another ng generate component electronics. So ng generate component like footwear, and ng generate component like fashion, like this. You have to put some contents inside them. We will do that also. And one more, go to app folder, and add a new file, and and the file is into the app folder, app.router.module.ts. Actually, at the time of creating the project, if you have selected, this file is already there. If not, we need to add this. Now in this module, we need to configure the routes. We need to configure the routes. Actually, the routes are configured. Before this example, you have to know that routes is a collection of routes for your application. So which comprises of several details. Like it comprises of several details. Like every route inside route collection, it contains some important details. So what are the details? So we have router property. So what are the router property available? What are the router properties we use in route configurations? So we use path. It is the request path. It is the request path used to access any resource. It is the request path to use it to access any resource. Actually, path is used in URL. Okay. And component. So actually, it is the it refers the component to be rendered when path is requested. When a path is requested, which component to render, that you have to define by using component. And redirect to, we have an option, redirect to. That means it specifies the path for redirection dynamically. It specifies the path for redirection dynamically. How they will work, we will see that. Another one is path match. Actually, path match, it specifies the URL to access. It specifies the URL to access when requested path is similar to an existing path. If requested path is similar to an existing path, then path match, path match. We have to use this path match. So I will show you those situations, how to handle them and how do we work with them. So these are the general properties. These are the general properties used in route. Everyone not required. Actually, we have children, right? So children, it is a collection. So it is a collection of child routes. All these we will see how do we handle them. So collection of child routes. Even it supports you the concept of lazy loading. That means only it is when required, when only which component is required, that component related library is loaded. We will see all of them one by one. We will see that. Here initially, first point is what are the routes you want. So you need to configure a collection and it contains first path. So what is the path? What URL request you are expecting? From the URL, what you are expecting? So from the URL, I am expecting home. In the URL home, when it is home, which component to come render? When it is home, it has to render a component. It has to render a component called shopping home component. So it will import that component automatically here. That means in the URL, when anyone requests home, it has to get this home. Okay, fine. And next here, another path we are defining. So